Welcome everybody, I'm Brandon,
And I'm Zach.
and this is B&Z Bowling. Alright, as I forgot to mention, me and Zach, we are New York Southern Tier Bowlers. We are looking to go big, get a sponsorship, and looking to possibly further this as a career. But other than that, we're about to hop into it with the reviews. I hope you all enjoy. Thank you. Today, we're going to be going over some ball reviews. Honey Badger Intensity, the original OG High Road, and the Rubicon UC2.
And I just went faded as shit. Right smack in the middle of that.
Alright, so Zach, you want to kickstart us off? What's the first one we're talking about today?
So the first one we're talking about is actually your new ball. And it is the Honey Badger Intensity by 900 Global. So I can't speak too much on the ball. But from what I've seen of it, like with Brandon throwing it and a couple other guys throwing it, it looks like actually a really strong ball for that down lane. I'll let Brandon touch into it more, but I'm going to get up our video if Brandon will throw that up. I'm trying to throw it into full screen, and it's just being a pain. There we go. So you can see Brandon throwing it right here. Pretty solid. So the shape of this ball actually reminds me a lot, and this is comparing. It's a solid, right? Or is that a pearl?
It's a solid.
It is a solid.
Mm-hmm.
Comparing a solid to a hybrid a little bit, but at least the way he throws it, the shape of it kind of reminds me of a phase 3. Gets down long, but then cuts back at just the right time. Can be thrown kind of on that early to mid second game, probably through the start of the third, at least on synthetic. But if you're on wood, I'm sure Brandon will go more in depth in this in a minute. That's definitely gonna be your like out of the box or out of the gate benchmark ball. So Brandon, if you wanna,
Yes. Personally, yes, I've thrown on wood in my hometown. It's wood. It's a wood house, little 6-lane house. Personally, out of all the new balls that I've gotten, the Honey Badger is going to be the one that's straight out of the gate with fresh oil on wood. For some reason, wood over synthetic, just as Zach said, it's got the push. You said 2 or 3? The 3, right?
for what?
You said the phase 2 or the phase 3?
Phase 3.
Yeah. It's got the push of the phase 3. It will go down long, and it'll snap hard on synthetic, but for wood, if you're looking at something that's going to be really aggressive, that you think is going to be a nice mid-tier ball, it's going to look like it's a mid-tier ball going down, and it's going to snap hard like a high grade overall. But, I mean, this ball, granted, probably one that's going to be worth that payout that you're going to put into it in the long run. It's going to be probably one of the best balls to invest in for what? For a 2020, 2021?
I believe it was. I actually got rid of the chart. Oh no, it's actually still there. Never mind. Honey Badger Intense, I believe, was a 2021 release. Yep, 2021 release.
So with that ball being said, overall, like I said, it's going to be one to put your money into. It's going to be one that's going to save a series if needed.
Yeah. Because while yes, it is a solid, it can, like I was saying, it can play like that hybrid that you know, like that you may not have in your bag. 'Cause I've noticed a lot of people nowadays go more solid pearl urethane and don't necessarily have, excuse me, that hybrid ball. Um, they don't have that high road. They don't have that
Insight.
insight, the timeless, anything like that. The phase three. A lot of people, especially right now, a lot of people do still have the phase three kicking around in their bag, or at least in their backup stash. Some people do have the insight in their bag, but not a lot of people are throwing hybrid. I've noticed lately, at least not at the houses I frequent. So,
All right, Zach. Let's talk about your OG high road.
ooh, this ball. Here, I'll let you take the opening nod because I took the opening nod on your ball.
The OG high road. I have thrown the Pearl. I have seen the high road Max. I have seen the high road X. Personally, those are nothing that really spark my attention. But the OG high road, probably one of the best hybrid balls that I've ever seen to be thrown, just because of the consistency on it. And it, just like the timeless, it's probably a little harder hitting. It doesn't fling pins much, so it keeps them all on the deck, which leaves more opportunity for strikes.
So I'll pull up my video here while I talk. So you guys can see here, bowling on wood lanes once it decides to kick into full screen. There we go. So bowling on wood lanes, this ball is definitely one that can be played either, and of course it's going to buffer, that can be played either straight up, or as you can see here, I'm kind of pitching it out with a little bit of loft. So these lanes were toasted, and it's going to keep buffering. These lanes were just completely toasted. Hadn't been oiled in, I'd say, almost a week, just because they don't have any leaks going on right now. So they only oil it once, maybe twice a week. And I had to kind of play out. I didn't have to tuck the pinky to make it go longer, which is one thing I really like about this ball. Especially like with a solid. I think I'm gonna have to actually just stop sharing this because I'm starting to lag out like crazy.
I was gonna say, just keep it shrunk. It works better.
I don't think it's that. I think it's just lagging as a whole. So we're just gonna end this. The high road as a whole is one that, at least for the drilling I put on it, which is the pin up over the ring pretty high. It goes long and it snaps. So what it does is basically it can get down that 40-45 feet when it's dry or when it's a short pattern, still hold and drive through the pocket. And like Brandon said, it kind of plays like the timeless a little bit, where it keeps the pin on the deck due to the cover stock and also the core that it has. It doesn't send the pins flying, and it creates more opportunity for strike, and actually those more messengers sends the pins off the walls rather than up off the racking and off towards the back to make for that possible messenger opportunity. A ball that actually has a similar shape that I've thrown compared to the high road, believe it or not, is actually my phase 2. I know I keep comparing to phase, but that's just because phase is a really good line. Just like the road line is the high road X, the all road, high road pearl, anything like that. I like the diversity with this ball, the high road. You can play, staying way right on 10 and shoot up 5 and you'll drive the pocket, or you can, like I said, move way left. You could play inside if you had to keep it within 10 to 15. Or you can move even further left and pitch it out. Like in this video here, I was standing on about 34, position of about 17 at the arrows, heading out to about 7.
7 or 8.
And then what I've done also with this ball is I've stood on 10, played it from 5 out to 2, so a much more narrow shot. It still drives the pocket. And I've stood on about 25, played 12 up to 9, again, a much more
Straighter shot.
condensed line.
Yep.
A little bit of arc, but nothing major, and it still crushes the pocket. So there's really nothing you can't do with this ball. And like our pro shop guy said, with the drilling, you really can't mess up a high road.
Pretty much, yeah. You can't mess up the high road. I mean, you could probably put it pinned between your fingers, and it'd still probably go long.
Right.
Oh, all right. Now, one of our personal favorites out of almost all of our pearls. One of our personal favorites.
It is the Rotogrip Rubicon UC2. So with this ball here, him and I actually went with completely different drilling. So this is the one ball that we both got the same. Well, of our recent ones anyway. And we went with completely different drillings. I'm going to back up so I don't screw everything up this time. But I have so I'll go this way. And the pin is about here on mine, give or take. It's pretty high and wide, whereas yours is something different.
Where mine sits a little bit over and straight the hell up. It's a very high pitched pin.
Yeah. So he went for the higher pitch, I went for the wider pitch. And actually it worked very well for the both of us. I'm sure Brandon will throw the video in of him and I throwing it together.
Say maybe.
But at the very least when you go to edit it.
Yeah.
But shit, hang on.
Yeah, I can go in and just add it in.
Yeah.
Just to say the least, this ball is a very satisfying pearl.
So one thing I've noticed with this one is kind of like the high road, at least for me, is I can play it way the hell out or I can play it straight up. I actually, Brandon witnessed this the other day, is I was standing on, where was I saying, about 23?
You said you were standing on like 23, getting it out to...
Like the half board at that one shot.
Yeah.
And it still drove all the way back and crushed the pocket. Like, I missed my mark by a good 4 boards or so to the right.
Yeah, and
it went to the half board. I thought that thing was going in the drink. And I ended up hitting the pocket for a strike. But so Brandon, what's your take on it?
To be perfectly honest, this ball, personally one of my favorites. I only ever owned one pearl ball ever, and it was the Crux Pearl. And personally, I never had that thing pearled. I had it dulled down, buffed out. So I really never technically had thrown a pearl ball ever until before this one. I had gotten one ball from Hustle that he has and I do as well, but personally, the Rotogrip Rubicon UC2 is one ball. Even if you do miss, whether it be by 4 boards or in my case I missed once and it was by 10, don't know how, it stuck to my finger and it just missed by 10 boards. This ball will jump the gun and come back and save the shot. I couldn't think of that, dude.
Words.
It will save the shot. I believe it will be good for not a low. It's more like a start to mid game, like first to second game ball. This ball, it can go long. It just depends on how you throw it. I've gone flat and watched this thing go the 3/6 pocket and not come back with my drilling, but I have also came around it a little bit and watched it go straight dead 7 after cranking it over.
Yeah, we actually have a buddy of ours who has a UC2, and he is the definition of a cranker. And I've seen him, same thing. I've seen him go straight 3-pin. I've seen him go straight like 4-pin, 7-pin, and I've seen him demolish the pocket. It all depends on your timing of when you're throwing it, like the lane conditions, because there are obviously everyone says that a pearl can hold just about any lane condition, and that's not necessarily true. It is to an extent, but it doesn't always work.
It doesn't.
On that,
Yeah.
it doesn't always work on that drier wood condition where it's like where the pattern is say 30 feet, or maybe not 30, where the pattern is, yeah, we'll say 30 feet.
Let's. I was gonna say let's just go with a typical house, a 42.5.
All right,
Even
so
so.
42.5. Yeah. Come game 3, you're going to want to be either moving way left and playing inside, or you're going to be going to that hybrid or that weaker pearl like in the Hustle series.
And if you're moving over to the left at this point with this ball, you're looking at throwing in between 4 and 5 and looking at that ball break point of like 5 to 6 and hoping it comes back.
Yeah.
Just how much oil it's going to catch, you're just hoping it's going to come back at that point.
So at that point, you're better off moving inside, or moving to the right rather, pulling a hustle if you have one. I can't talk today.
Or a hybrid.
Or a hybrid, depending. Certain hybrids, not all hybrids. And moving up and playing that straight up line.
Other than that, unless you have good hand control, you can try to keep that line a little bit. I did learn something from said friend of ours. If you do have a little bit of a drift, certain board positioning is key. And if you do have good hand control, try to flatten the ball out a little bit. It still will roll over itself and go.
Right.
But that extremely dry condition, that ball is just something to put away and try to go with something weaker.
But so anyway, guys, I think that pretty much wraps this up. Unless you got anything else, Brandon.
I mean, what's in store for next time? What are we thinking here?
So we're actually getting together for a practice session today, and I think what we're going to do is do a best of 2, or actually it'd be a best of 3, because you kept saying best of 2. It would be a best of 3, and just see who can edge the other person out. So I don't know. We may look to. I don't know how we're going to do it. We may look to. As he mutes himself because of freaking traffic. We may look and see about doing it live. I don't know for sure. Or we're just going to record the whole thing, and then he's going to edit it down, or I'm going to edit it down, or whatever. But we'll see what we come up with. If we do this whole thing, just record it and edit it, or record and edit, someone's going to want to have a freaking charger on them so we can keep our phone going, because otherwise...
I'll make sure this puppy that lasts at least 12 hours just with charge goes.
There we go. So anyway, guys, I think that pretty much wraps up the video. This is obviously our first go around at this, so pardon our not nervousness, but just inconsistency, I guess. It will get better as time goes on. Nothing is perfect first try. But we hope you enjoyed this video. We hope to bring you along for the ride, and hopefully one day soon, we get a sponsorship by these companies here. But anyway, guys, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell. It is the number one way to help out a channel. Once again, I'm Zach.
And I'm Brandon.
We'll catch you guys next time.